Black jacket, go paddock. These niggas don't want no static. Do money.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Lonely Lone. We back with another reaction video. Today, preachers preaching. Preachers gotta preach, but they also need that tide, or you can't go outside. You know what I'm saying? We got my favorite singer actually in gospel music, Marvin Sapp. This was unfortunate because I grew up listening to him and he really helped heal my heart going through some tragic stuff because he lost his wife about 10, 12 years ago to cancer. And he had a lot of testimonies to his faith, and he really inspired me through his music, through his voice of just persevering. And needless to say, this clip came out about him telling the ushers to close the doors, nobody could leave without paying the tithes. And then now there's all these comedic videos in response to it about how crazy and outlandish it is, basically robbery with no gun for people to pay to the church. And we're going to get into it, see if he had an explanation to it or not. Let go.
The cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
Close the doors. Ushers, close the doors. If you see him leave, put that belt to ass.
We all gonna leave together.
Oh,
Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
Pastor got gangster.
There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight.
Give me that 40.
I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get one soda, 2 straws.
Now, close the doors. Nobody leaving. We leaving together. I need that 40. I'm going to be real. This is very sharkish, very mafioso, very bully, very coercive. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel organic. Like, if you give what you can, that's fine. It's like, no, shut the doors. Now, if he explained, like, we're in a crisis, we're going to lose the church, somebody's going to lose a limb, somebody needs a transplant, somebody needs a surgery, we need this 40. We need to come together to keep the lights on, to save somebody's life. I didn't see the whole clip, but that wasn't explained at all. It just seemed like he just needed tithes for the church. And he just felt like that was the right time to do it because he had, I think he said 4,000 people in the, 1,000 in the live, in the church in person, and then like 2,000 to 3,000 online, right? So it's like he felt like probably this was the right opportunity to get that money on, you know what I'm saying, to fund the church. And some people, it's mixed emotions online. Some people are saying mainly it's a performance. This is a plaque singer, recording artist. You know what I'm saying? And also Grammy nominated singer, classically trained. You know what I'm saying? A musician. You getting free performance. I can get that. But if his frustration was that, he should have been saying that. Like, being transparent goes a long way. Just because you're a pastor and you are put on a pedestal, don't mean you have human emotions. Don't mean you have that needs that need to be handled. Say, hey, church, I need help. Don't let the ego get involved. You know what I'm saying? And now it makes you look crazy. Now, mind you, I want people to think, if you was in this situation, people were saying, well, I'm fighting the ushers. I'm a create a new door. Really? Let's be realistic. If you was in that church, you saying all this, but if you was in that church and they closed them doors on you, you gonna feel that pressure. You gonna give at least $1. The way this man look, the way this man looked into the camera, look. Close them doors. Or some that's like that on the block. Where you going? You left out on my money. You ain't paid me for the serve I did to you last week. Where my money on? Close that door. Close that back door. Don't get snagged by my homie. My man turned to Dokio, FTO, you know what I'm saying? Only the family, OTF. Now, mind you, I think this is over exaggerated. I think if people was trying to leave, they would let them leave. But it's comedic, right? Now, let's get to the spiritual aspects of it. I'm gonna get more serious. This is just a man. At the end of the day, this is a man. This is not somebody that we should be looking at as a savior. And I said this the other day. People that are called to the cloth, or gurus, or writers, or musicians, or speakers, people that bring you closer to like a higher level of consciousness, these are not saviors. Kendrick said it. I am not your savior. These are people that are servers. So think about it like this. They bring you the glass of water. It's up to you to drink. But they are not the water. They are not life. You know, they say water is life. They are not food to give you nourishment. They can give you words that give you nourishment, but them themselves are not the nourishment. So I think it's primitive in this moment that when you see clips like this, don't let what Marvin Sapp gave us throughout the years, don't let that taint that. Them songs, My Testimony, you know, and all his other hits I can't think of right now that we sing and play in our head. There's a lot of times I be playing when I'm going through grief or going through depression or going through anxiety or panic. There's songs that I would play in my head in quiet spaces when I'm backed in a corner or I'm out in public and I feel an attack coming mentally. I would play his songs in my head and it would calm me down. It would bring me closer to God. So I'm not gonna say, you know, I'm joking, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna just look at him as somebody who's trash now. I'm just looking at a man that makes mistakes. But his God-given talent is what I'm going to pay attention to and use for nourishment. His voice, the words that he says, that is filtered through him from God. So we need to stop putting people on pedestals like they're some type of God figure. You know what I'm saying? He's a pastor, but he's not a God. Marvin Sapp is just a man. So when things like this happen, and this goes for anybody, when things like this happen, you know what I'm saying? You do correct it. You know what I'm saying? You did call a man out like, hey, like we're doing now, which is good. Like, hey, bro, like that's not cool. You're making people uncomfortable. That's bullying. That's coercion. You gotta chill. This is not God-like. You feel me? You gotta check him. But don't misconstrue his, you know, sinful nature as a man, like we all have, to his actual gifts that helped you. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to go into the response he had, right? So, Marvin Sapp says that the critics and supporters that his plea was in the spirit of stewardship. The cathedral will hold the Engage Conference at A3N1 Experience on May 22nd. Any funds raised during the service will cover the cost of the international gathering. Okay. Then he says, conferences have budgets, churches have budgets, people have budgets. As the assigned ministerial gift for this international gathering, one of my responsibilities was to help raise the conference budget. He explains the risk of collecting large sums of money in a physical location, which led to the discussion to lock the sanctuary doors. No more locked doors. The truth is, when financing are being received in any worship gathering, it is one of the most vulnerable and exposed times for both the finance and security teams. Movement during these sacred exchanges can be distracting at any times when even risky. My directive was not about control. It was about creating a safe, focused, and reverent environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources. Sapp, bro. Dang, how many ads gonna change? God dang. Pastor Marvin Sapp gave a full statement on Facebook. If you want to read more in detail, here it is. Now again, this was for an event that's coming up. He gave more context, and obviously this is the social media age, like he said, where they take snips and clicks and gets misconstrued all the time, and people run off of that and build careers off of negativity, engagement for money, monetary values. So I can understand that part, but the messaging and how you say things is important here, and you can't deny that. So I think he should also have been taking, oh, hello phone. I think he should have also been taking accountability right here and saying, you know what, I could see, reflecting back on it, how my messaging could be misconstrued as aggressive or kind of bullyish, and I would apologize and work on my delivery. But this is what it is with my intentions. And we're like, okay, cool. But whenever you don't take accountability in the public, you're just gonna look like a swindler or whatever. But at the end of the day, he might not care or give a F or what anybody says, because that's his church and his congregation, and his business with the Lord is his business. And I'm cool with that. Hey, it's Lonely Lone. That was my insight. Catch me on the next one. Love yourself and be great. I'm out.